Stop. All right. I'm tracking this convergence line right here. We just had some anticyclonic behavior. Let me pull back real quick here. I want you guys to watch how these two air masses are converging on Arkadelphia here. All right, we had some anticyclonic behavior just north of this lower cell right here. So let me just try to get this better for you. Maybe I'll try to mount this in I want you to see here. I'm going to pull back. Watch how these two air masses up here, this storm in the upper colliding with this one down together. They're pointing like an arrow right to Arkadelphia here. And I think it just popped up there. Severe warning right there for Arkadelphia now. You see how these two things are converging here like an arrow right over Arkadelphia there. I just had to bring this real quick. I didn't have much chance to prep for this. I was taking images of this. Well, I expected this when these two air masses to collide that we would see some kind of anticyclonic behavior, which we captured just up here. Maybe I got to mount this. Be patient here for a second. Let me get the tripod out. I wasn't really too organized here, so let me just get in this for a second while I get quickly set up here with my app here. We're just gonna have to do it this way for the moment. I was kind of watching this behavior here and I got a little concerned. So there doesn't seem to be anybody else on YouTube tracking it right now, so I thought it'd be kind of important that we get the word out there that here in Arkadelphia to watch out here. Let me get you focused on this here. All right, there we go. Get a little more better focus, more centered here. Get the light out of the way. And kind of get us a little centered here. Was the color coming out all right on that? Whoops, sorry. I'm used to doing it from this angle. Try a few adjustments here till we get it just right. All right, these two cells, this upper one coming down, this bottom one coming up to meet it, they converge, and we get this right up here. Well, let me get my pointer out because it's touching the screen. Right in here, down below, this one wrapped around in a circle right here. This bottom one, see how it went around a big red circle going counterclockwise. Then up above it right here, watch it do a somersault and go clockwise and slam into that lower one. See that right there? This little that little somersault right there, going over the top and connecting back down. Sorry, this is hard. Going back over and connecting back down with that lower one that was rotating counterclockwise. So this big red circle down below, where'd it go? Right there, was rotating counterclockwise. Then this upper one was rotating clockwise, and they both combined together to form this new storm right here that is currently approaching Arkadelphia. All right, now, as you watch the motion of this stuff come together, you can see that it's pointing, oops, get out of there, please. It's pointing kind of like an arrow. This one, this upper coming down at an angle this way, stuff from down below coming up to meet it. And when this stuff down below comes up and slams into that, it causes that clockwise rotation that you see right there. And let me just try to get a good capture of this anticyclonic rotation. I'm going to put it right in that target right in the middle there. All right, you see that little somersault that that red spot did and went over? Right there. Okay, that was, it's not a tornado on the ground, but this is a storm rotating clockwise around to meet the other counterclockwise rotation. They met in the middle. See how that happened? And I'm just kind of doing this also for posterity reasons, so I can have have this for the record later on. And what we need to do is just kind of leave it like that. Every once in a while, I got to touch the frame to refresh it. But there's a good capture of that, the clockwise rotation right there that we were talking. All right. And now they just finally kind of put a warning out up here for this new box up by ARKADELPHIA. See how that rotation, see that red hook that just formed? I have a feeling they might issue a tornado warning for Malvern right now. Okay, there's not many like live storm people doing anything right now. I went and kind of checked around because I wanted to see their reports. I need some of their instruments. This weather app is just, this is all I got. All right, but you see this red stripe at the very end pointing down. This very last frame. Let me try on this side here. This red stripe pointing down and that curl Q hook. There's a hook forming right there. Right over, well, just passing over ARKADELPHIA right there. That has the possibility of maybe putting down a tornado. The way it came together like that with the two different rotations combining together. These are air mass collision type events. This isn't the sun causing all this convectivity. This is the actual air masses, the temperature differences, and they're colliding. There are different effects when they do collide with each other. I wonder if I came back just a tad bit and over a little bit more. All right. Sorry, there wasn't much going on, and I just kind of went over to the radar here, and I was watching this thing converge here. I posted a couple quick shorts of the anticyclonic behavior, but then it started to blossom here into something that, a possible dangerous situation here. We'll kind of monitor it a little bit. But there are still some dangerous storms out there, even though the storm trackers and everybody is done chasing for the day. This stuff is still blossoming at night, and that's why it's kind of, well, I felt I might have to do this just in case. All right. In this app, if there's a tornado, they'll give us a good alert here in a minute. Oops. I'm trying to set this up to where it will balance nicely and in color for you. There we go. All right. And for a few of you that are out there kind of still hanging out tonight, there's activity going on in our weather here. And I guess I'll just try back down like that again. Sorry, making a few adjustments with my tripod. I'm used to focusing on a different screen than this. So, all right, yeah, if you know people in this area, just give them a little heads up. There's a gnarly storm coming your way. It might not produce a tornado yet, but the way these air masses collided like that with the anticyclonic behavior wrapping around and joining in. See these two air masses met so fast that the upper one colliding with the one coming in caused that little somersault effect. Trying to capture it one more time. Right. Whoopsie, where am I at here? Right in there. Okay. All right. That little red stripe went over and then back down and joined into the storm right there. And that was rotation. That was some strong rotation up in the storm itself. That kind of motion causes stuff down at the ground level that's different than the tornadoes we're seeing. This is like I said, air mass collisions that induce eddies and wakes and different almost like fluid dynamic side effects. And luckily this, well, I don't know, kind of taking a peek here again. Kind of looked like it was dissipating a little bit better there. But anyways, I did want to get an opportunity to capture this anticyclonic behavior. We were talking about it before. People were asking about it. Really, can I just have one proper thing to pop this up just right, Lord? Does it always have to be such a trial? Such a trial. Okay, so it kind of occluded right there. You see how all that whole circle area with the inflow notch that we had there all slammed together and closed off. So it looks like it occluded. Get that out of there, please. Thank you. But this is a storm that means some business. It's out there on the plains right now in the middle of the night here outside of Little Rock, heading towards Pine Bluff, just going over ARKADELPHIA right now with some very strong storms right there. There could be some rotation in there. I wish I had one of the other weather apps. It's a little bit better that shows your wind velocities and directions, the little couplets. That's what I'd really like to have right now is that instrument with the couplets. All right, you see this little bit of formation rotation right there, the red and the yellow, that little C shape. There's a little bit of rotation going on right there outside of what Press got here. So still some volatility in these storms. We'll just kind of leave that go for a second and wait for the next update here, the next radar update. And this is just the simple My Radar app that I use around the house here when I got to track a thunderstorm that's coming our way. But also kind of helps to track these storms a little bit too. You see this, the C shape, these little hooks, these little inflow notches starting to form there. Anywhere along there could form some rotation here. So let me just pull it up again. This red C-shaped spot right there could be a continuance of that clockwise rotation that we saw earlier as it carries on down and travels down through the storm. Remember, it started kind of more up. Whoops, here. Started more up in this region and then spiraled down. See it start up here and then spiral down to here. See it? So right here is our clockwise rotation in this C-shaped right there. That's your anticyclonic behavior traveled right down this system and is carrying out the bottom here. And watch out, it's still rotating. I bet we're about to see a backwards rotating anticyclonic tornado possibly go up this line now, this new little avenue that they just here just outside of Hope. How ironic. We got Hope, Texas here. Sorry, I gotta keep refreshing that little thing too. Every once in a while, if you don't touch it, it'll shut off. Oh, yeah. All right, let's try it again, Lord. Give me patience, tolerance. Give them patience too. I need this up like. We need it just right, Lord. Right there. All right, so you see this C-shaped right there? That's our continuance of that clockwise rotation. Here we're gonna try that. Improvise, overcome, adapt, do whatever we got to do to get this going. I want this color working better. All right, good enough. Let's just watch it for a second. All right, you see that rotation now kind of traveling back this direction. The moment I touch it to refresh it, it goes out. All right, let's leave it right about there for a second. And back it out a little bit. Oh. Sorry, trying my best here. For some reason, it seems to be blinding my camera. I want it to back up a little bit so it doesn't blind my camera so much. Up or something. Okay, there it is right there. You can still see it traveling up. Can we, Lord, please, can we just make it a tad bit more difficult? All right, there we are. This rotation just above, up to the right of Hope, right there, is what we're watching right now at the moment as I search for something, Lord, anything as a support beside it. Oh, Lord, why can't we just have one thing that's thick enough to get a nice, even support? Anything. This should try anything. Instead of balancing it on a brownie. So just outside of Prescott right there, this round C-shaped rotating wall right there that was still the residue of that anticyclonic behavior that we saw just a little while ago. And let me pull back a little bit. You can see where it had started and how it ended there. It started up here, traveled down. Really? What is going on? I want this app. Everything. Now, for some reason on my end, it looks like it's blinding the camera, and that's why I keep shifting it around. It just Makes for a terrible stream. You guys can't even get to enjoy it and focus on the activity because I'm moving the camera so much. Okay, it looks like it's dissipating a little bit there in these last few frames there. But I was a little concerned when I saw these two air masses collide, and you saw the somersault effect up there that I was talking about, and now it's traveled down the storm vertically, and that red little C shape is the remnants of our clockwise rotation. Okay, that's against the grain. Everything usually rotates counterclockwise. That little air mass did a right there up here, did a little somersault clockwise and went down and joined in there. And the violence and the speed at which I did that is what stirs up other tornadoes. The quickness that went over the top, rotated and slammed back down into the lower storm, and you saw how it like smashed it and spread it out and made it go forward. So watch that little somersault and how when it slammed into it, it shoved it out like that. So there's gonna be, see how it's gonna still tumble over here. Here, let me get my pencil and my pointer out. I'm trying to do this with my fat fingers. Where is my pointer? Right here. See how right in this little box right here, how this is tumbled over and is still going kind of clockwise? So let me pull this up again, get a little more zoomed in there. Still right outside ARKADELPHIA there, or just south of ARKADELPHIA now. We actually looking at a possible inflow notch down below for rotation going clockwise. So the inflow notch for a clockwise tornado would be down below it, down here. And we got two rotation. It looks like two spots that are kind of going clockwise. This one up in the box up here and this one down below. No. A little bit better. Yep. Get the focus and everything, then it turns off. Okay. This one out front that's in the box looks like it might be the one. We got inflow in between them. That little notch, if that clears out in between these two notches right there. I can't. Right in there. Let's just kind of pull back a little more. Where's the color gain on this thing, man? Thank you. Enough with your alerts. Thank you. So back to this one up here at ARKADELPHIA, It looks like that may peter out. Let's see what happens here. We'll even kind of drag it down more this way now. Oh my gosh, gotta shine light on one screen to get it to brighten up. Come on, little sensor. I want the whole brightness of the screen here. Sorry, I'm getting frustrated. I'm trying to do something I'm not used to doing here. But see this stuff popping up out in front of it and then merging with it. We got to watch out for stuff like that. See how this quick little merger happens right in there? We had our C-shaped right there. Now it's rotating back down, reaching down. And if we get a little inflow notch back behind here, right behind Hope there. Where's my other pointer? Where's my pencil, Lord? Please. Pencil. Cut. Oh well. I'll just let you guys look at it there. Maybe we can get just a little cooperation out of this thing and some better color. Hello, little sensor. I want full brightness. And we need to watch that little knob right there, just outside of Hope there. Where is that? Really, Lord? I just had it a minute ago. We were using it to point with. Yeah, this little notch right here had that backwards rotation. It might straighten out and start to rotate normally, but that's the one that we need to kind of, that we were watching there. And if it gets an inflow notch back behind it here, and it continues rotating clockwise, all right, fine. Let's do it like that then. Fuck. All right, yeah, it looks like it may have occluded and stopped rotating at least clockwise. We need to see what else is going on back behind here, so. Will somebody let me know if this is blinding the camera? Somebody in the chat, can you just say if it's like the color's distorted or if it's turning out all right? Because on my end, I can't see anything. It's all blinding the camera. I would like to have a better angle. All right, there we go. That's better. Now we're talking here. Okay, see how all that came together rotation kind of stopped. It occluded. We still have this little feature left from it right here, that little red notch right there, but right there at the very end right there. But it looks like it may have stopped doing its backward rotation. So the other night when we had this anticyclonic activity, it actually produced a PDS tornado that was spinning backwards. And as I started doing a couple of shorts just to capture, the frames while it was happening, I saw this starting to progress, and I don't know, just kind of looks a little concerning at the moment. But let's just take a little peek around the rest of the area here. Everybody in Little Rock, you guys got a big storm coming in. All right, maybe not a bunch of tornadoes or anything, but a lot of thunderstorms. Wow, I just saw something right here. This rotation right in here, when those two things come together, yeah. I love touchscreens. I can touch it all day and not get it to work, but you accidentally bump it. Oh, for heaven forbid. Heaven forbid. I touch it all day with my callous fingers and I can't. Just kind of leave it like that for a second and see what happens down below here too. Right here below Hope here, we're having a little inflow notch right here. That almost looks like that same area of anticyclonic behavior may still be hanging out up above, because that looking like a little backwards inflow notch right in there. This little cell right here has inflow going that way. Yeah, the atmosphere is very unstable in this region right now, and we're having air mass collisions that are causing vorticity just by their sheer collision, just by the force of one coming up and impacting another, causing backward rotating or anticyclonic rotation just by the merger of them. Ooh, look at that one spool up and spin up in there. All right, see this right there, how fast it came spooled up and then joined in there. And then you see this inflow notch that's created right there, right after that merger. I think we have another effect here where the impact of that air mass coming up so fast and joining has caused right over what, Fulton here? Yeah, just over Fulton. Coming up the road towards Hope here. And these things shift all the time. They're constantly moving. This vorticity stays around one spot and it'll shift and move to another. But I think what we're seeing right here, this little merger right here, has the capacity to have some vorticity in it. Like I said, I wish I had the other app that showed our actual yeah, that thing came up and merged with the rest of them. See how fast it approached the other storm? That's what I'm talking about, is the stuff from below coming up and slamming into the main line. And when it does that, it can cause vorticity. See, there goes the warning right there. It just popped up a warning box. Okay, so this is going to be for people of, well, let's get a good trajectory on this. Just Fulton, Hope. Let's get in on it a little bit closer here. Okay, you can see Fulton. Downstream is Hope, Perrytown. Just as I was talking, this hook coming around the backside of that rotation right there. Where's the right? I cannot keep this thing on me. This other one's too big for this tiny screen, so inflow notch coming in right there. Rotation going clockwise. Hopefully that dissipates and doesn't form a tornado, but by the way these air masses are colliding here, and that came up, that little storm just raced right up and joined in there so fast that it caused rotation on the backside. Boom. You see the impact? It's like a car hit, or like a train hitting the back of a car, and now you see that twisting, that torque right there. That's exactly what I was talking about right there. Oh, right when I go to touch it. This is the story of my life. God just constantly torturing me with this stuff. Every move I make, everything I touch, every time I try to do something, it's just arduous. They're lucky. We're not tortured like this constantly. All right, there's our merger right there, creating a what appears to be a clockwise rotation here with an eye forming type structure in the middle. Now, this is not necessarily a tornado on the ground yet, but this is your radar, just your storm motion causing this now, all right? This vorticity, these collisions of air masses like this. Lord, how do we get the thing to just stay on? Can't things just work? I remember a day when I used to turn a switch on and the thing would turn on right away and it would stay on until you took that said switch and turned it off. And it turned off automatic right away. These days, you hit a switch, well, there's a 20-second, 30-second delay. Let the computer think about it, relay it to the relay, and then maybe we'll get the the desired effect 30 seconds later. Man, what happened? Things were so simple and they worked. All right, you can see your little eye forming in the center right there. That's you see how that storm came up and hit the other one so hard it made some spinning rotation effect, and that effect is spinning clockwise. So let's see if we get what's going to happen after this here. The rest of the screen here too. Couldn't have just like a few more inches lower. Bring this up just a tad bit. Yeah, my rinky-dink little storm chaser studio, whatever here, but just trying to track. I was watching some of this on the app here, and I saw some of these air mass collisions again, creating clockwise rotation, which is anticyclonic rotation there. And like I said, these are nighttime thunderstorms. This is air masses colliding, causing this. This isn't convection from the sun like our normal activity is. Oopsie. Let's go right there. All right, so that collided. It caused a little bit of that clockwise rotation, but it seems to have, like, it didn't produce a tornado or anything. But this is, I want to capture some of this for the record. This is the backward rotation type effect that we were talking about that we get out of these impacts like this. Hopefully it's capturing that, boom, that merger. Of course, with the sign right behind it, blinding the camera. All right. So let's take a little peek around and see what's going on a little further up here. See this storm front progressing across the country here. Let's here's another one of these merger spots. Let's pull it up a little bit more right there. You can see where one line joined in with another. That all got swooped back up into it. And now this has created like a big wall of wind out front there. It's almost like a derecho type effect right there. Because that storm's moving pretty fast too. So not only we're going to see kind of rough weather, but some, derecho type wind bag effect right there, at least on that section of the storm. Up here, everybody's kind of on the yellow. There's no real severe weather. Little Rock, Arkansas, we need to go down to Texas. This event right here, this is forming a hook right there. Right there. Let me pull this down. Yep, see, there goes a warning right there for it. Just as we got here, up goes the warning. All right, that other one kind of dissipated for a minute. Let's focus on this one for a minute. This is going to be Texarkana, just outside of it, the Grand Lewis bunker. Fook. Oh, Fook. All right, you see this little pop-up right in there in the middle? That's where our tornado is probably going to form right there. This whole inflow notch is going to wrap around and connect to that little dot right there, and that's probably where our tornado might form. These pop-ups right out in front here too. See how that thing pops up right before the storm, and then is going to merge with it. Ooh, where'd it go? Yeah, look how this one comes straight up into that storm. Wham! It slams right into it. So this activity is happening all up and down the line here. And let's just kind of go back down here. Folk. Oh, folk. Okay, you see this inflow notch is air going in. This point's going to curl around and form our tornado. That'll probably connect right there to right there, and then that'll start spinning. I pray it doesn't happen, but it looks like we got a pretty good setup for it right there. Oh, it changed now. That little thing blossomed and blocked the inflow. Let's see what happens here. This may not be over yet. And somebody said a prayer and just threw a big old block up in there. And when you kind of study this motion and how these things evolve, you'll see these little inflow notches that keep carrying along as it goes up. That's an indication of a storm as well. And it's good to learn these little tricks on radar apps so you'll be able to, read these things yourself. So that's kind of why we're doing this real quick too. Just want to make sure this one turns out okay and doesn't go ballistic on us. Yeah, that hook was just about to complete and wrap up right there. I don't know. It doesn't look like it wrapped up totally into a nice tight tornado. So that event looks like it might be over. Let's go up and down the line here. Okay, we're going to do this for a second. And you watch all these little air mass collisions, how one thing pushes out one way and then other stuff wraps around and collides with stuff up above, creating vorticity. Also, down below here. All right, we better go see what's going on in here. It's still going on. Also, this is coming up here. This little red dot going up to join in. There's another inflow notch starting right there. Okay, this is the storm just passed through Texarkana, kind of recycling, regaining strength here, starting to get organized again into looks like a storm configuration maybe again here. We're getting two little inflow notches, one up above, one down here. You saw this thing come flying up and impact into that. So this is our area of instability and activity. Oh, I don't know. This thing down by Fook here. That's the true tale of the storm, the cell right there. So I'm going to try to get all of this in one. Hmm. Ooh. Yeah, maybe in that range right there. Um, it's kind of important to keep these weather apps. Get one and get handy with it and how to use it, because now we got a new warning in this area, I believe. Or no, that was already there. Uh, this is recycling here. The little spot out front that was going to be our little tornado actually has now recycled. You see this hook forming right there again. Okay, this is where this might actually start to turn out here. They're probably going to update this pretty soon with the new box right about there. You saw Anubis in there? Alright. It looked like it, huh? Okay, here we go. I'm gonna do too is I'm gonna pull back a little bit. You already know where we're focused on there. We got other activity going on further up the chain here, so let me just pull back a little bit. We'll keep everybody kind of in line here. Get it just right. I'm also watching this up here too. Right in that area. So we have some more inflow coming in this spot right in there. Okay, I'll leave it right there for a minute and let you watch the time lapse. That's what gives you a good idea too. Is your anticipation skills, your judgment skills. You see what just developed and forecasting in your mind what direction it's going to go. Trying to see what's happening. And the next anticipated move. We have a bunch of air racing up the back here. See this air racing up the back right here? Right up there? Coming up to meet it. It's those fast collisions of air mass like that that's going to cause rotation here. So this coming up the backside, this yellow right there, is going to cause this whole bottom area to spin. See how it's already starting to give a little spin effect right there? So this fast air mass collision up here, that thing goes slamming in there. with this fast air moving up the backside of the storm front. So we have this activity. We got a hook forming here just outside of Fuke, Texas, I guess. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's see what this next frame produces here. Hopefully it uh-oh. Also up towards Garland, you see the direction that the red storm is moving. So if this hook forms, it could go, well, head up that direction, probably in between Garland and Louisville there. Whoops, I'm touching the wrong screen. I'll let you be the judge of that, but you can see the trajectory that if we did get something, it would be going. This last frame, it seems the inflow notch has kind of calmed down a little bit. Ooh. Look at this last thing. Look at this wind whipping around the backside of this storm right there. Let me pull that up. Okay, so this storm producing wind on the back sides of it too. All right, so let me pull back a little bit so you can get a broader scope of our whole, or at least this boundary right here. Let that play for a few more times right there. We had this big air mass collision just outside of Hope right there. Caused some anticyclonic rotation in the storm. And then as we kind of go up, we have a new frontal boundary or a different frontal boundary up here, charging right along up by Bryant and Little Rock. And see how these things are just blossoming and then blending right back into the storm front. This big old point is like almost like its own little almost like its own little wind bag, or what are they talking about? Where's my so high winds coming towards that area. Fordyce. Down here, this thing's just charging away outside of Magnolia. Let's go in and check our hook one more time. Right outside of Fuke. All right, now this is our morning time activity. We're doing the forecast last night and we're showing you nocturnal activity, and now it's the morning hours. And here's our new blossoming activity. Going to be a busy day for the storm chasers again today. This one seems to have kind of occluded It looked like it was kind of doing a second round and going to gather strength and do a second round again, but, well, hmm. Yeah, we still got some rotation in there. All right, Lord, have mercy on them, please. Yeah, that's our most concerning spot of this line right now. Let's get to where we get the names on there. Okay, it looks like it may have occluded. I don't see that inflow notch anymore unless the very tip of this point right here is our tornado, but we won't be able to tell for a couple more scans, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Let you kind of eyeball the rest of this for a second. You can see these things just blossoming as this air collides with the other air. Something like that up here, right back here. What the heck? Watch this area right here, too. Right in here. That little pocket. Oh, no. Really? No, I just go back to the app. Okay. Watch this. You see how this air comes up so fast into the back of the storm that it kind of shoves it? That collision right there might cause some rotation or actually hinder some of the rotation, possibly. Put it right like that. Yeah, you see how quickly this air just comes flying up in there. It's these reactions like this air just jumping into place. It's causing rotation in different areas. It's not like necessarily tornadic. It's more from the sheer collision. Like I said, imagine a semi hitting the back end of a car and spinning it around. Oh, right on the. Okay, this new little dot that's forming just below our possible little notch right here. All right, I'm gonna put right about there. Pull down just a little bit right there. Okay. Hang on right there for a second. I'll be right back. Without that part and that part. Hang on. Okay. Oopsie. I'm back here, you. It's already merging with it. So we're getting an effect now here at the tail end where stuff from the south is actually coming up and occluding with these other storms and knocking them down a little bit. Meanwhile, we got this little thing reaching down. Now you see how this moisture is reaching out in front of the frontal boundary like that? That's the activity that we're worried about throughout the course of the day today, or that we're concerned about, okay? The weather watchers will be watching closely. Oops. Okay. Well, it didn't really turn into a big old tornado, so thankfully, some people were spared tonight or this morning. But as you saw those two air masses collide, you could see that anticyclonic behavior, and I just kind of wanted to document that while we had a chance here on this channel. So I posted a couple of shorts on it as well. I do need to get a little bit of rest here. Find a little look around here before we go. You know, everybody in Little Rock, you got a storm coming in, okay? High winds, heavy rain, hail, okay? Down all the way along this frontal boundary, down by Fordyce, about to get it, Camden, Magnolia, Spring Hill actually might just get clear to this. And so I just pull back to the whole country for a minute. Okay, we were focused in on this central part right here in Arkansas, but look down here, down by the Gulf Coast. See all this right down here coming on shore? See how these pockets from down below are forming? These little cloud banks out in front are forming and merging with that line. Those are the pop-ups that we're worried about. Okay, now this is out over the ocean at the moment, but throughout the course of the day, it's going to be moving up through New Orleans. All right, so everybody in this region, prepare for a lot of rain, hail, high winds, possible possible land or water spouts making landfall. And all that moisture right there that's being pulled off of the Gulf This is blossoming pretty hard down here. See this thing trying to form a little hook right here? Let's watch this next few scans here and see. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. They better post a warning for Winnie. Everything that's going to be in that hook right there going up that direction. Let me pull back out a little bit. Start looking at places that are downstream from this, possibly. See it forming over the water. Forming over the water right here. It's going to be forming probably a water spout right around there that's about to make landfall. All right, sorry. I'm trying to get it. All right, there. So it just cleared Beach City right there as it starts to form up in this cove up here. And then it's going to start heading northeast towards Winnie. Let's see if they put up a tornado box for this here really soon. Let's see what this next scan brings after this one right here. Whoops. Okay, I believe that might be. Wish I had a velocity couplet radar. But by the way that came together, I'm pretty sure we have us a little water spout that just formed right there. You can even see kind of the eye in the center of it, in the center of the rotation right there. All right, so everybody downstream here, when this thing comes on shore here, right about there. Then as we pull back, we start looking downstream where it might go next. So up by Netherland. Let's see what direction it really starts to head in here because let me get back in the screen there. Oops, messing with the wrong screen. Okay, you can see we're already starting to see activity down here on the Gulf Coast here. And up in this bay where the water's shallow, nice and warm, it really convected right over that spot, brought the vorticity right down to that little spot right there. Now, basically, you see this extension of yellow, this yellow barrier going up. That's the direction it's going, up towards Winnie. Hopefully, this dissipates next few frames, or it might continue to make landfall here in this bay and then start going up across the up towards Winnie here. Okay, you saw how that really like organized, wrapped up, got intense right there. I think that might be our well-organized tornado right here at the very bottom, right there. I'm gonna make landfall just north of Oak Island here. And maybe this isn't on the ground. This might just still be way up high because they haven't issued a tornado warning for this area. But the way this is behaving, let's see what our next couple radar passes bring. I'm also going to pull back a little bit there. See how it all kind of located south? It all kind of traveled into this one area of intensity right here. And then it looks like we're also getting another inflow notch starting to grow right in there. There we go. I'll just kind of leave it right there for a minute. And I may have occluded and it's already done. Just a short-lived little water spout maybe. We'll see what happens in these next few frames right here. But this cold air is actually reaching down all the way down into the Gulf now and mixing with the air down here and starting to fire off our severe weather really far south down here now. Okay, Cindy, sweet dreams, darling. Get some rest. I know I kept you up late tonight. Look how fast this stuff is coming together. All right, sweet dreams, princess. And nothing else really going on, so I was noticed this activity and I thought, well, you know what? Just to capture for posterity's sake, and then also kind of report here since there's everybody, all the other storm trackers Everybody's getting some rest right now. Okay. Yeah, that. Also, look back behind here. You see this little frontal boundary forming right in here? Here's a new air mass boundary line right in there. And then this is going to collide with air coming up the backside here. Looks like it says a word or something, huh? TSA? If you tilt your head to the left? Oh, I don't know. But now we have a new little secondary boundary back behind there. Okay, that one kind of, we can come back to it. I want to see any other places. Uh-oh. All right, here's another frontal boundary coming along. Whoops. Just south of, this is that one south of New Orleans that we looked at before. Just kind of revisiting this one. You see down here these pop-ups popping out in front, or forming out in front of our boundary line right there. Okay, let's go back over here, see what was going on here. With our storm over here. Okay, it seems to have like occluded again. Good. But that's still a healthy thunderstorm heading for Winnie. All right, large hail, high winds, lots of water. And the way things are going today, whoops, I'm on the wrong screen again. The way things are going, whoops, today, they could train in a row. So, like you see, find a spot, for instance. See how it's moving up in this direction? It could get, like, Winnie could get hit with this storm, and then later on, something blossom down here back behind it, still come along that same track. Let me pull back here. Trying to point and zoom at the same time. So back down behind here, we could have another blossom that would follow that same storm track. So you could have today storms that train over each other over the same region back to back to back. Also, the storm has a lot of high winds with it. Even if you don't get tornado, there's almost like these gust fronts, almost like a derecho here, where we see the whole front just organize. Wait. It's not capturing what I'm trying to get. Otherwise, updates. Come on now. Now, here we go. This whole wall right here that's moving in one unified thing, that could be almost like a derecho type event because of just the sheer speed at which it's moving by itself. It has a big wall of wind in front of it. So we could also see, straight line winds knocking power out. Okay, so that was that one. Let's come back down here to this thing in Texas. Right there. Make sure that one doesn't progress too much further. All right, so everybody down here along the Gulf Coast today and a little inland, be aware. Okay, we got a lot of convective activity going on in the region here. Why is this YouTube? There we go. Dang it, man. You touch the screen one time and it zooms in. I didn't even want it to zoom. And then you can't get it undone. Okay, so you're seeing our activity here along the coast here with lots of moisture being picked up in these frontal boundaries. Having air mass collision, convection, and some of these slam into each other so quickly they cause anticyclonic rotation. We saw a little of that earlier. We haven't seen any of it since, but just tracking a couple of these storms in case they get out of hand. But everything seems to be kind of filling in the gaps for the moment here. Every time we get a hook, it ends up occluding. All right, so I'm going to go. I got to get some rest too. Everybody along the Gulf Coast, up through the Midwest, everybody watch your weather today. All throughout that whole region right there. Especially these two little areas, I would say, that are more south. This one and then the southern. These two areas right here are probably going to be our areas of activity. Don't quote me for sure because everything's changing so quick. Also, we have this boundary out here in Tennessee. Okay, so everybody just kind of keep an eye on your weather, check in with it every once in a while, stick your head out the window, make sure there's no wall cloud forming outside of town. Okay. See the spiritual eye. Yeah. All right, I'm going to go. That was an hour and a half already, so I wasn't even planning that. All right, everybody, watch your weather closely. We're having very volatile weather. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of storm chasers chasing today. And maybe we will get a break. But if we don't, it's important to kind of keep monitoring this if there's nobody else on. So, all right, that's it for now. Everybody, like I said, in the Gulf Coast and then up in the middle there, watch your weather today. That's it for now. I love you all, and until my next show, I will be back. Bye.